Now, this word has a very negative connotation, and whenever we think of the word discrimination, we're kind of thinking of bad things. And for the most part, discrimination is in society a very bad thing. And we just got the doorbell. All right, sorry about that. That was somebody campaigning for school board, so I had to talk to them real quick. All right, so we're talking about price discrimination. So in microeconomics, price discrimination is the practice of selling a product at different prices when not justified by cost differences. So here's what you got to understand. Cost difference is the key. If I'm based here out of Illinois, I can build shipping into the price, and that's a cost difference if I'm going to ship to Wisconsin or if I'm going to ship to California. So there is legal discrimination. All right, and so we're actually going to talk about some of these things. All right, so let's talk about those types of price discrimination. First, we will charge the maximum price people are willing to pay. All right, so think about it this way. If you set up a lemon stand outside to raise money and you say, give whatever you want to give, somebody might give a quarter, and that's all they're willing to pay, and that's what you charge them. And somebody else is willing to pay $1. All right, if you get somebody that has never had lemonade or is, needs to hydrate, they might give you $10. All right, are you doing anything illegal there? No, you're charging the maximum that they are willing to pay. The second type is when we talk about different prices for sets. So you see this a lot like in grocery stores or in clothing when you buy wholesale stuff, or if you're getting like your own shirts printed. Right? For golf balls, I see this a lot. So for example, when I buy golf balls for the team, if I buy 10 dozen golf balls, I would be charged $20 per dozen. But if I bought 20 dozen, I'd only be charged $18 per dozen. So I get a discount for this. So if one team only buys 10 dozen, but another team buys 20 dozen, they're going to get a break. All right, that's per dozen, and that's price discrimination. And the third, this is where it gets tricky and dangerous, is when we talk about charging one price to some and different to others. All right, so this would be like a catalog that comes to your home, and they printed off different versions of the exact same catalog with different prices for every item. And so they send people in New York the higher priced one, they send people in Alabama a lower priced one, and then they send people in California an even higher priced one. This is where it gets shady. This is really a bad type because there's no reason as to why you're charging one price to some and a different price to others. You just feel like it. This is where you could start talking about segregation, you could talk about sexism, you could talk about racism, you can talk about all that sort of stuff when it comes to this. And this is the type of price discrimination that is very dangerous and very, very out of control. So, but we're going to be talking about price discrimination in some good ways though too. All right. So in order for price discrimination to exist, certain conditions must be present. The first condition, there must be a monopoly power. All right? I have the ability to control output and price. Second thing, there is market segregation. We are able to separate buyers into different categories. This is okay. All right? Some examples of some market segregation. Airplanes. All right? These people up here get charged $400. These people back here can get charged $200. Why? First class, business class. Same flight, going to the same place, but people pay different prices. But we've segregated people into first class and business class. And the third condition that must exist, no resale of your item. So, also we can go back to airplanes. There's no resale of that ticket. Once you've used it, you can't sell it again. Movies have this situation going on. Like you have matinees where you pay a lower price, and then later in the day you pay full price. Most of you guys can get a student discount at some movie theaters. All right, they have those different things. Golf is another thing. If you golf on a weekend versus a weekday, if you golf bright and early Saturday morning, or if you go at 5 o'clock Sunday afternoon, they take whatever they can get. So, why would a monopolist take place, or why would the monopolist be willing to discriminate? Well, biggest reason of them all, profit. I mean, how can you not blame a guy? Because the company wants to make as much money as possible. And if they can do that, then they're going to do it all. All right? They're going to charge whatever they can. I'm sorry, I'm writing something down here real quick. All right. So let's talk about a real life example of a monopoly that actually will benefit you. All right, and let's bring up the example of Microsoft. And the most common thing that Microsoft sells is Office, Microsoft Office. I'm sure you guys have all used it. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all that good fun stuff. So we are going to draw side-by-side graphs, but this is not a side-by-side graph like what we see when we do this, market and firm. These are two different market segmentations that we're going to be able to do this with. All right, this is going to be businesses, and this is going to be students. All right, we'll include us teachers in there too. Okay, so now because we're talking about one product in this situation, all right, we actually have MC is equal to your average total cost curve here. All right, this is the only time that this situation occurs in a monopoly, is when we're talking about price discrimination. And for our purposes here, MC is equal to ATC on both curves. All right, but then in businesses, you're going to have a little bit steeper of an MR and a demand curve. All right, I should probably move this up a little further. All right, for businesses. And so, once again, you're going to produce where MR equals MC, this quantity, but then you're going to go all the way up here to the demand curve. All right, and because they're equal, this whole area is the profit Microsoft will make selling Office to businesses. Well, you poor students, especially the starving college student, all right, need to use that product as well. But they're going to have a much more closer to horizontal MR and demand curve. And so you go here, this is where MR equals MC. You go up here, you get your price, and you are going to have this little area as their profit. Now, why would Microsoft sell this to businesses at this price, but sell it to students at this price? Well, since Microsoft is a monopolist, especially when it comes to Windows, they can charge whatever they want to charge. But to them, they want to sell as many items that they possibly can. And so, to Microsoft, they know they're going to sell this, but they wouldn't sell to students at this price. It doesn't cost them anything more to sell it here. So no matter what, they're going to make profit. And this goes back to that idea that we talked about with misconceptions. They're not after the highest profit per unit. They're after the most profit. Because before, they wouldn't have gotten this profit. They would have only gotten this profit. But now, they get this profit from this profit. This is that idea of butts in seats. If I can sell out an airplane, all right, or if I'm trying to sell out an airplane and there's 5 seats available and I'm already taking off, those extra 5 seats, if I sold them at half the price as the person sitting in the row in front of them, I would still be making money. And that's the goal. That's what they want to accomplish. So that's it for today. You will be getting an assignment all about price discrimination. It is activity 3-13. And you will have that due tomorrow. And you'll have a workday tomorrow where you'll get a couple other Monopoly assignments. And you can work with that. So we continue on with our trend. Cover song of the day. Now we're going to go a little bit country. We're going to go at Dolly Parton. Everybody should know who Dolly Parton is, one of the greatest voices to ever exist. But she did a cover song called Drives Me Crazy. It was originally done by the Fine Young Cannibals. Their song was called She Drives Me Crazy. But Dolly Parton turned it into a country song with a fiddle instead of a guitar. And it's just a fun thing to listen to, especially if you enjoy Dolly. So I hope you are getting something out of all these videos. I hope you're rewatching them. I hope you're enjoying the music I'm picking out here for you. So enjoy, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace out.